Army veteran Stephen Gloss had landed his dream job in 2018 as a drone operator. While on a business trip to Japan, Gloss's foot went numb and then
not feel anything. So for like the first 24 hours, I thought that that was really funny and kind of just laughed it off. But when that lingered for the next 48 to 72 to the entire week, I realized that that wasn't normal and something might be going on. So
after additional tests, doctors determined that Stephen had multiple sclerosis.
yeah, it was actually the VA. There was a doctor at the Long Beach VA in California, and yeah, he diagnosed me, and he just tried to maintain a sense of optimism. But honestly, my prognosis, especially with how aggressive my MS was, didn't look good, and doctors expected that I would probably be wheelchair bound for the rest of my life within the next, I'd say, year to two. That's sort of the prognosis they gave me.
Stephen and his young family moved to Pennsylvania, where he enrolled in Lebanon VA Medical Center's healthcare and received a referral to see a chiropractor. Both of them recall their first meeting.
I was having some issues with my back again, so I got an appointment with the VA here at Lebanon to go see Dr. Long, who's a chiropractor here at the VA. And it was that appointment, I remember, I remember vividly. I was having a lot of trouble walking that day with my MS, so I'm hobbling around with my cane, and he calls me back to his office. He just gives me a one quick glance over, and so he said, just follow me. We get to his office. I sit down. He kind of looks through my chart, looks me up and down, and then he just stops for like maybe 10 seconds, like this, almost like an awkward pause. He just looks at me and he says, "I want to help you."
I do. Stephen came into the office and he was hurting very bad. He could barely walk. He was using a cane. And he was distraught. He was depressed. His function wasn't very good. And we were just trying to figure out what we could do to help him.
Prior to the appointment, Stephen had ambitions of running a half Ironman. Dr. Long encouraged him to aim higher, and with his mentorship, Stephen began training for a full Ironman.
And so Dr. Long, he's actually done, I think, 2 or 3 Ironmans himself. And when he said those words, it kind of sent goosebumps through my body because I was already training and planning to do this half Ironman. So I told him about my plan at that time to do the half Ironman. He just looked at me and he said, "Just a half Ironman?" He said, "Why are you selling yourself short?" And what's amazing about this is when I would tell anybody else about this idea of doing a half Ironman with MS, people would either say I was crazy, that it was a bad idea, that it would be bad for my health, that it was just dangerous. And here's Dr. Long asking why I'm selling myself short. He said, "You have the chance to not only have a good story, but a great story." And for the next several months, I got to have this awesome relationship with Dr. Long where about every other month or so I'd have another chiropractic appointment and he'd do an awesome adjustment, but at the same time he would be there as like a coach and a mentor to kind of guide me through my training program, the challenges I was facing, and just be there as like a motivator to help me through it.
But the first thing we did was we had to make sure that he was going to be capable of doing them. Since he was diagnosed with MS, a lot of people, and a lot of the physicians have told him, "Hey, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do this." So the first thing we did was we got him back into alignment. We got him into physical therapy. This place is great. Here at the VA, we took the whole approach. We looked at his function and not his pain. And we said, okay, this is what he wants to do. Can he do it? And then we decided, okay, this is what he can't do. So what do we need to do? He got into physical therapy. He got into the whole health program. He got into, physiatry. Everything he needed to do to get him to function to do it again. So, the first thing we had him do was walk. He had to start walking again and walking normally. Once he started walking, then we had him start jogging a little bit. Once he started jogging, then we had him run a little bit. Then we had him get in the pool, which was not.
Despite COVID-19, Stephen completed a virtual Ironman. Both doctor and patient worked hard to make this accomplishment happen.
Yeah, amazing. Now I know he gives me credit for it, but I didn't run one step. I didn't take one stroke in the water for him. I didn't ride one mile for him. He did all of it. The only thing we really did was we tried to get him to stop focusing on his pain and really start focusing more on his function and being strong and healthy again. and getting over his burden. Yeah, the guy is amazing. Is amazing. But you know what? All the veterans are amazing. Sometimes they forget who they are. I mean, you're a veteran, I'm a veteran. And veterans know that we have been given tasks in life that, there seems like there's no way we're ever going to do them, but we always do. And sometimes when they're injured, they've been deployed, they come back here and they forget. But once we reminded him who he was, he got back to being strong and healthy again.
Stephen is continuing his care here and continues to seek out new challenges.
I'm extremely happy with the care that I get here. I actually just got 2 MRIs over the past 2 days to kind of do a follow-up to see what the progression of my MS looks like within my brain and my spinal cord. So I'm excited to see those results, hopefully get some positive news from that. But regardless of what the results show, I'm just thankful that there's a team here that cares not just about me and my health, but as Dr. Long is a great example of, cares about my development and as a person, my character, and my goals and my ambitions like that now. But I have my sights set on some pretty crazy goals, some pretty crazy ambitions. Not only am I going to do another Ironman, but I plan on doing an Ironman every year for the next 12 years until I can make it to Kona for the Hawaii World Championship. It's my dream one day to race there. But on top of that, I'm also considering doing something even crazier, considering becoming the first person in the world with MS to ever swim across the English Channel. That's my goal for the next maybe 2 to 3 years, to train for that. So that's a 21-mile swim that only I think about around 1,300 people in this world have ever done. So that's sort of my next big adventure moving forward. Disease like MS, people liken it to being like a ticking time bomb. Like every day is precious to me because I don't know what tomorrow, I mean, it's true for all of us. We don't know what tomorrow is going to hold in store for us. But when you have a disease like MS, I'm just 1 hour away from a relapse that's going to change my life forever.